last week, that video went viral, if you will, saying, you know what, if you're a military person and you think that the president is giving you illegal orders, you do not have to obey these orders.
All of these members of Congress put this video together last week, made a lot of news, and then all got invited to do Sunday shows. We have clips from all of them, and none of them gave a consistent answer with the other. They all had a different talking point, which is bizarre because they contradicted themselves. But the one who was kind of the ringleader of this, it was Senator Elissa Slotkin from Michigan. She was on ABC this week with Martha Raddatz. They are going to friendly media and getting asked questions that should be a softball question if they had thought ahead about the outcome of this.
Do you believe President Trump has issued any illegal orders?
To my knowledge, I am not aware of things that are illegal, but certainly there are some legal gymnastics that are going on with these Caribbean strikes and everything related to Venezuela.
Legal gymnastics. She was a CIA analyst. That is the Department of Legal Gymnastics within the United States. And she's sitting here saying it was of such dire need that we put this ad out to let people know the law, that they don't have to follow legal orders. They gave away the game. It shows that it was politically motivated to undermine the president of the United States authorities, commander-in-chief.
Honestly, what a dumb answer. Like, it just is ridiculous to me. Right. I don't mean that in a mean way. I just mean that in a, even if you're pushing you're pushing your narrative forward. Anyone who understands how media works understands you got to push your narrative forward. You don't answer with, to my knowledge, I'm not aware that there are things that are illegal.
So it's a wasted ad.
Right. So that is the worst answer they could have given, and then swerved it into there's some legal gymnastics happening. The American people don't fall for that. They don't want to hear that. They want to be told, look, if you think there's something illegal, stand up.
She's asking what seemed to be pretty easy questions for someone that had this entire campaign rollout. And this is a follow-up from Martha Raddatz to Senator Slotkin from Michigan, bite 3.
It does imply that the president is having illegal orders, which you have not seen.
I think for us, it was just a statement widely, right? We say very quickly and to all the folks who come to us, this is the process. Go to your JAG officer, ask them for explanation, for top cover, for their view on things. We do that on a case-by-case basis, but we wanted to speak directly to the volumes of people who had come to us on this.
And it is very clear that no one should follow an illegal order. But it's very murky when you look at what is an illegal order. And if you go into morally, ethically, that's a pretty tough thing to look at and say, how do I navigate this?
Look, if you go back to Nuremberg, right, they told me to do it, that's why I murdered people, is not an excuse. If you look at popular culture, there's you watch, A Few Good Men, we have plenty of examples since World War II.
She goes into Nuremberg and then A Few Good Men, of which she says is plenty of examples since World War II.
If you look at popular culture.
I know, A Few Good Men is a movie. Okay. It's not an example since World War II for these purposes. A Few Good Men
gets put to the side. That is fiction. Okay, so Fiction doesn't count. That's not a good enough answer. Second, Nuremberg. Nuremberg focused on leaders within the Nazi death camps and the leaders of the Nazi party, SS members specifically. It was not just regular kind of uniformed troops with the Nazis. These were the worst of the worst who saw the atrocities, and that's where they were tried in this special tribunal. If that's what you can point to in the world, of all the world of military, is one, the Nuremberg trial following the Holocaust as a don't use a, well, you were given this instruction, so you were following orders, and that doesn't work as defense. I mean, that's just not accurate. And you know what she goes on to say is what we did on the show. But what they didn't do in their little 30-second ad is they just wanted to make a very broad statement, right? That's what she says, actually. We say very quickly, and for all the folks who come to us, this is the process. Go to your JAG officer. Wait, don't just ignore. Because I thought the ad said ignore illegal orders.
Right.
This says go to a JAG officer and make sure you get cover, is what she goes and says. Which is the process. You go to a military court officer, and if you really have a concern, and they are the ones to issue a judgment to make sure that you do have cover before questioning an order.
In that ad, they say our laws are clear. You can refuse illegal orders. You can refuse illegal orders. You must refuse illegal orders. So there's not you should go to your JAG officer and ask them about the legal cover for an order. It is very direct. But I think we should play another member of this team. This is from Maggie Goodlander. She's a member of the House of Representatives from New Hampshire, also the wife of Jake Sullivan.
Have you, Congresswoman, or any other of these Democratic members of Congress heard directly from members of the U.S. military or the broader national security community who believe they've been given unlawful orders?
Well, what I'd say is I have heard from service members, and I have heard from service members, and this is all a matter of public record. What we see is an uptick of concern from the men and women who are serving in uniform about the legality of orders that are being given.
I mean, it's like they were given a gotcha question.
Well, here's what I think
and it's the most basic question, and you at least have some people with a little bit of journalistic integrity to ask the question that, I don't know, should be number one on everyone's list when they're going to ask him. And it was, and the response was like they were so shocked that they got asked this question.
Well, they got a camera in their face and they were told by their staff, say this into the camera.
Yeah, and didn't know what they
didn't. They just said it and they moved on. And then they booked all these interviews because of it. And you would have thought, okay, then the staff person's going to walk in and say,
we're going to prep.
You're going to get asked, has he done anything illegal? If you're going to say, no, you need to be able to pivot to, but this is what we're looking for. This is where we're on the line.
I've got one more because, Jordan, they booked all these interviews, and you'd think that their press team, after seeing the first interview go so poorly, would update their talking points. Bite 9, also Maggie Goodlander, on with MS Now,
you gotta say
formerly
that now.
MSNBC.
Yeah, very difficult
Bite 9
interviews for liberals.
What illegal orders are you urging troops to refuse, and what do you hope they take away from your message?
Alex, we love this country. We love our Constitution. It is our job as lawmakers, and especially in this moment, to be clear morally, to be clear legally. And simply and clearly stating what the law says, what the Uniform Code of Military Justice says, it's not a crime. It is not treason. It is not sedition. It is our job. And I think it's really important that we do our jobs in this moment.
Yeah, word salad. I mean, again, it feels like something straight from the Kamala Harris campaign. I mean, you don't want to be rude, but it's hard to even watch because these are just words that you are trying to get out of the top of your head. I mean, when you start saying things like simply and clearly, and you have to say clearly multiple times, then clearly you're not saying something clearly.
Logan, what illegal orders are you urging troops to refuse? We just love this country and our Constitution. It's so great.
It's our job.
Just speak the law.
It's our job to be clear, morally, clear legally, simply and clearly. I mean, that is, end quote. Like, that is what she said.